Welcome back to Kleppers Corner. Today in history. February 27th is one of those dates that makes you wonder if the universe runs on a production schedule. Because on this day, we get emperors, amendments, atomic particles, celebrity magazines, Pokémon, and an earthquake that literally moved a continent. It's like history said, let's do everything all at once. Segment 1, Constantine, Theodosius, and the business model of God. February 27th, 272 AD, Constantine the Great is born. A baby who would grow up to look at the Roman Empire and say, you know what this polytheism needs? Fewer gods and better branding. Constantine decriminalizes Christianity with the Edict of Milan, calls the Council of Nicaea to settle a theological argument that had basically turned bishops into subtweeting gladiators, and builds Constantinople. Because when you're emperor, you don't move to the city, you name the city after yourself. That's not urban planning, that's merch. Then on February 27th, 380, Emperor Theodosius I issues the Edict of Thessalonica, declaring Nicene Christianity the official religion of the Roman Empire. And just like that, theology becomes state policy. Imagine Congress today voting on the Trinity. All in favor of consubstantial? Opposed? The heretics will be escorted out. What Constantine opened, Theodosius closed. Christianity goes from persecuted minority to legally enforced majority. It's the original rebrand, from underground meetings to imperial compliance department. And in 425, also on February 27th, the University of Constantinople is founded. Because once you've made religion mandatory, you're going to need bureaucrats who can explain it in Greek and Latin. 20 chairs of grammar, 8 of rhetoric, law, philosophy. It's LinkedIn for the Byzantine elite. The Platonic tradition runs for nearly 2 millennia, 2,000 years of asking, but what is justice? Meanwhile, Rome is like, justice is whatever the emperor just said. Segment 2, Henry IV and the art of political conversion. Jump to February 27th, 1594. Henry IV is crowned King of France in the middle of the French Wars of Religion. He's a Protestant in a mostly Catholic country. And that's awkward when you're trying to get crowned in a cathedral controlled by people who would prefer you not exist. So Henry converts to Catholicism, allegedly saying Paris is well worth a mass, which might be the most honest political slogan in history. That's not hypocrisy, that's strategic flexibility. His coronation stabilizes France. He later issues the Edict of Nantes, granting limited rights to Protestants, religious liberty, civil rights, even fortified towns for self-defense. It's basically, you can worship differently, but let's all agree to stop burning each other. Henry shows that sometimes the most revolutionary act in a religious war is paperwork, not a sword, a signature. Segment 3, Lincoln, Saccharine, and the sweet taste of ambition. February 27th, 1860. Abraham Lincoln delivers his Cooper Union speech in New York City. He's not president yet. He's just a tall guy with a beard auditioning for national relevance. And he meticulously argues that the founders intended to restrict slavery's expansion. It's less fiery populist and more law school valedictorian. But it works. The speech catapults him into serious presidential contention, proof that sometimes the most powerful weapon in politics is a footnote. Then, in 1879, chemist Constantine Fahlberg accidentally discovers saccharin. He forgets to wash his hands, tastes sweetness, and instead of panicking, he monetizes it. That's the American dream, but in a lab coat. His colleague, Ira Remsen, is furious because Fahlberg patents it solo. Academic betrayal over artificial sweetener. It's like Mean Girls, but with beakers. And saccharin becomes the first widely used artificial sweetener, teaching humanity that we can chemically engineer guilt-free dessert, a lie we continue telling ourselves. Segment 4, the neutron and the dawn of the atomic age. February 27th, 1932. James Chadwick announces the discovery of the neutron, a neutral particle hiding in the nucleus. No charge, but enormous consequences. Before this, atoms were confusing. Why do some weigh more than others if they're the same element? Chadwick's neutron answers that. It explains isotopes. It also provides the perfect subatomic projectile. No charge means no electrostatic resistance. The neutron is the introvert of particles. Quiet, unassuming, capable of splitting uranium in half. Within years, neutron research leads to nuclear fission, which leads to reactors, which leads to atomic bombs. February 27th doesn't just discover a particle. It hands humanity the blueprint for both clean energy and existential dread. 8 years later, on February 27th, 1940, carbon-14 is discovered. Suddenly, we can date ancient artifacts with eerie precision. Archaeology becomes less guesswork and more stopwatch. We don't just dig up bones anymore. We timestamp them. The 20th century is basically February 27th saying, let's unlock the nucleus and the timeline at the same time. Segment 5, Fire, Protest, and Constitutional Guardrails. February 27th, 1933. The Reichstag burns. Adolf Hitler uses it as justification to suspend civil liberties and crush opposition. One fire, one decree, democracy gone. 10 years later, February 27th, 1943. The Rosenstrasse protest in Berlin. German women publicly demand the release of their Jewish husbands. And astonishingly, the regime backs down. It's one of the rare moments where nonviolent protest cracks totalitarian armor. The date shows us two paths: power exploiting fear and citizens confronting power. Then, February 27th, 1951, the 22nd Amendment is ratified in the United States. Presidents are officially limited to 2 terms, a direct reaction to Franklin D. Roosevelt's 4-term presidency. It's America looking at executive power and saying, let's not tempt fate. The amendment institutionalizes rotation because history had seen emperors, it had seen dictators, and it decided, maybe let's not. Segment 6, Earthquakes, Pokémon, and the Modern Spectrum. February 27th, 1996. Pokémon launches in Japan. A game about capturing tiny monsters becomes the highest-grossing media franchise in history. It teaches children supply, demand, and that friendship can be quantified into hit points. From emperors enforcing orthodoxy to kids trading Charizard cards on a bus. That's the arc of civilization. Then, February 27th, 2010. A magnitude 8.8 earthquake strikes Chile. The ground shifts nearly 10 meters. The continent physically moves. Tsunami waves rise nearly 80 feet. Hundreds die, billions in damage. It's a reminder that while we debate amendments and download apps, tectonic plates don't care. The natural world operates on a timeline far older than any constitution. February 27th contains emperors defining belief, kings redefining loyalty, scientists redefining matter, legislators redefining power, and earthquakes redefining geography. It is religion, monarchy, democracy, chemistry, nuclear physics, pop culture, and plate tectonics sharing a single square on the calendar. In conclusion, February 27th reminds us that history is not linear, it's layered. On one level, emperors declare orthodoxy. On another, scientists split atoms. On another, children trade digital creatures. And beneath it all, the earth shifts. The same date can birth Constantine and Pokémon. It can discover the neutron and limit presidential power. It can unleash dictatorship and inspire protest. History isn't just what happened. It's how power, belief, knowledge, and nature collide, sometimes violently, sometimes brilliantly, on a random Thursday in late February.